Yo, what's good people, it's Cactus and welcome to my dream home studio. Alright, so just over a month ago, I moved into a new house that I bought, and I've been setting up the studio ever since. There's still some things I want to change and add, but to be honest, it feels like it's never ending, and I'm definitely happy with the vibe so far, so I feel like it's a good time to show you everything. It actually feels crazy to be sitting in here, man, because I remember a time when I only had a laptop and some headphones, and I never really thought I could make money off music. But now, thanks to YouTube, and especially the support from you guys, from buying kits, my course, or even just watching my videos, I've been able to buy a home and set up this whole space. So yo, I try and say as much as I can, but I appreciate you guys so much, man. You really changed my life. So when I was planning the room, I had to find a balance between performance and aesthetics. I wanted it to look quite warm and masculine, like straight up boss vibes, but I also wanted it to sound good and function properly as a studio. So I had the idea to paint the room black, which a lot of people said was crazy, but I really think it adds to the masculine vibe I was going for. Plus there's large doors that let a lot of natural light through, so I don't feel boxed in or anything, because us producers need that vitamin D, you know. But then to balance everything out and add a bit of contrast, I went with a cream carpet to make it look a bit more luxurious. Originally I had grey put in, and then I changed my mind like last minute, so that was an expensive mistake, man. And then to match the black walls, most of my equipment is black, so my chair, my monitors, my keyboard, my MIDI keyboard, my acoustic panels, my headphones, and even my mouse. I'm gonna get into them more soon though. Only thing I might change is the chair and the curtains, just for a different color, but I don't know how Fudge will feel about that. She's been loving it. Alright, so let's start off with the desk that's holding everything together. I'm using the FlexiSpot E7 Pro standing desk. This thing is so sick, man. It can hold up to 160 kilograms. I can move it up and down easily with the buttons, or I can set a preset. So for example, if I press the standing button, it just raises to the level I set. Plus, the whole thing comes with a 10-year warranty. FlexiSpot were kind enough to send the desk, so they are a sponsor of this video, but they don't have control over anything that I say, and to be honest, I don't really have a bad word to say about them. It's so unhealthy to be sat down all day, man, so having the option to work stood up is life-changing, and my producer back definitely appreciates it. With this version, you also have a USB in the keypad with some tape and clips for cable management, because yo, I can't lie, in my last place, the cables used to stress me out, man, so I think I've done a pretty good job with this one. Most of the cables are just hidden under the Velcro case that comes with the desk, and then others are just wrapped up with cable ties. So yeah, I highly recommend these, and I know they're currently on sale for Black Friday. If you pre-order now using the link in the description, you'll get an exclusive code plus shipping priority, which is cheaper than the actual Black Friday sale. Essentially, you'd get it for £330, but trust me, man, it's well worth it. And also from the 24th to the 27th of November, they're even offering a 50% cashback to the first 80 people that make a purchase. And whilst we're talking about health and looking after yourself, they also sent me this B12 Pro ergonomic chair, which is crazy comfy. I had my last chair for like 10 years, man, and it was killing my back, so I couldn't wait to get this one. It was really easy to set up, and you can pretty much adjust everything, like the height, the back tilt, and the depth, just so you can get it to the exact level you want, so you're not hunched over like a gremlin. The next thing I want to talk about is the monitors, and these beasts are the Adam Audio A8H, so I've just upgraded from my T8Vs. I've done some work with Adam Audio in the past, so they did send me these, but the quality is mind-blowing, man. Everything's so clear and precise. A lot of monitors and speakers I've had in the past have just been unrealistic, like the bass might be too high or something else, but with these, it just feels like I get a really true sound. They even have Sonarworks by Sound ID integrated, so if your room isn't acoustically treated, it will compensate for it and give you a more flat response, which is sick for mixing. I know I'm talking a lot about products from companies I've worked with, but my philosophy has always been to only promote products that I genuinely use or think you guys will benefit from. If I don't like something, I just won't promote it, no matter what they're offering, because to me, I feel like it's way more important to keep the trust from my audience. But anyway, as you can see, the monitors are sat on ISO acoustic stands, just to help with the clarity, so the sound isn't bouncing straight onto my desktop. Plus, the main thing was just to raise them, so the tweeters are at my ear level. Also on the desk, I have the Native Instruments Complete Control S61 MIDI keyboard, which I mainly like because of the LEDs. But sometimes I swap it out for the Arturia Keylab 61 if I want to use some drum pads, or even the FL Key 61 by Novation. I don't use a lot of the features anymore though, but if you want something that connects seamlessly with FL Studio, then Novation FL Key 61 is probably the way to go. I just wish it was black so it could match the vibe of the room, but with the other ones, mapping all the controls is kind of long. We also have the Shure SM7B microphone, which is by far the best one I've used. This is the mic that's used in pretty much every major podcast, including Joe Rogan's, just because it's so warm and clear. It's held by the Elgato boom arm, which is more on the pricey side compared to others, but I really like how sturdy it is and how it hides the cable. Whenever I'm ready to record, I can just swing the mic out, and when I'm done, I can tuck it away. Elgato also made the two lights that are attached to my desk. These are both their key lights, which I can control by my phone or the desktop app. From there, I can set the brightness and the temperature of the lights just to match my camera, because that's really important for filming videos like these. Speaking of cameras, I've been filming everything on the Sony a7C, which I think has been discontinued. But I really like it because it's a lot more compact compared to the Sony a7 III or 4. Plus, you don't have the recording limits like you get with Canons. I used to have to stop the recording every 30 minutes with the old camera, so with this one I can just let it roll. I also use the Sony 16-55 2.8 lens, which is a bit expensive, but these videos are my main focus, so I wanted the quality to be as good as possible. Plus, it's the only lens I've been using for these videos and my studio vlog, so it's a good all-rounder. The tripod I'm using is from Newer, and it's a good small one to have on the desk, but I can't lie, the legs are a bit annoying to get to the right height. So moving on, the interface I'm currently using is the legendary Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. I'm sure everybody knows about this one, and for the price, I don't think there's anything much better. You can probably get a second-hand one for under £100 these days, and I use it for everything, including vocals and my guitars. Definitely can't fault it, man. I think a lot about upgrading, but I don't even know if it's necessary. And you can probably see the black receiver on the top of it, and this is from III. It's actually the receiver for the wireless headphones I use. These changed everything for me because I wanted my setup to be as clean as possible, and I just hate wires and cables. They have ultra low latency because of the receiver, or you can switch it to Bluetooth mode, and I can't lie, man, the quality is good. You definitely get a flat sound, but if anything, I feel like they're missing a little bit of high-end clarity. So sometimes I end up boosting my snares and my hats too much. But to be honest, now that I know how they translate across other systems, I just know how to mix with them. So even if there's a better pair of headphones out there sound-wise, I'd just rather take these for the wireless feature. Only other things on my desk are the Logitech MX keys and mouse combo, which I think cost around about £200, so a bit on the pricey side, but I haven't tried anything better yet. Especially with the mouse, man, you can just flick your finger to scroll and then it won't stop until you put your finger back down. I've also been using a manual to-do list for a while. I still use Notion and I've tried a lot of different organization apps, but sometimes you just can't be writing things down and ticking them off. I just feel like it's way less overwhelming. For the monitor, I'm using a Samsung U28, which is nothing crazy, but it's 4K, really clear, perfect for what I'm doing. That's held up by a FlexiSpot mount, so shout out to them once again. And I also have a BenQ Screenbar Plus, which just sits on top of it. It automatically matches the brightness of the room, so it kind of stops you squinting at night and protects your eyes. I know a lot of people get headaches after staring at screens too long, man, so this definitely helps. At the back of my monitor, I have two Govee LED light bars, which are pretty sick because I can change the colors from my phone, and they also sync up with my ceiling lights that are from Govee, so all of the colors match. And just for tidiness, I even stuck the receiver to the bottom of my desk. I rarely even change the colors, to be honest, but it's sick to do at night if you want to set the vibe. I know they do a ton of different things like dancing to music, but I just haven't really tapped into it yet. But yo, I had to have something because is it even a studio without LEDs? I don't really know, man. The other thing I do for lighting is I use two GVM LED lights behind me. So in a lot of my older videos, you would have seen the green and orange lights, which were really becoming my brand colors, but in this room, they just don't stand out as much, probably because of the black walls. And when the lights are on, this is what it looks like. I've just been turning them to orange and it kind of matches the warm vibe. Even though it's something simple, I feel like these make my YouTube videos look way better and definitely make me pop more. I think together they cost around £250, but for me, it was a good investment because it makes the shots look more interesting. The PC I'm using to run everything is actually a custom built one. Over the years, I've just been upgrading parts, which is definitely the benefit of having a PC. Only downside is you can't be packing this up and taking it to sessions. But inside there's 48 gigabytes of RAM, 4 terabytes of SSD storage, 4 terabytes of hard drive storage, a Ryzen 7 3800X processor, and a GeForce GTX 1080 graphics card. Even at this point though, some things are starting to run a bit weird, but might be because I'm running out of storage. Plus I've had this thing for over 8 years. Alright, so when I moved in here, there was a crazy amount of reverb. The ceilings are quite high, so I had to do something about the acoustics. So the panels on the wall were actually built by me and my dad, and you might have seen them in my old studio too. All we did was buy some wood to screw together, we filled it with rock wool, and then we wrapped it in cheap fabric. But recently I was reading about how bad rock wool can be for breathing, so I ended up taking them down. I swapped it for hemp wool, and then I just rewrapped it with black fabric to match the vibe. I think the hemp wool cost about £100 for 8 slabs. The wood wasn't expensive, and neither was the fabric, so trust me man, it saves you a lot of money doing it yourself. I think they do a pretty good job too. I've got 3 behind the monitor and then 3 to the side of me. I can't have 3 at the opposite side because of the door, and I think I'd like to get some on the ceiling at some point, but for now they're definitely doing the job. The other thing you've probably noticed is the huge art piece behind me. I bought this from a crazy artist called Chris Bellini. He makes some sick pieces that are usually like modern takes on classical pieces. The only thing I struggled with was finding a frame the right size. I didn't realize you couldn't just buy them this size, so I had to get one custom made, and I think the frame by itself cost about £350. That was actually more than the print itself, but to me man, it just really makes the room complete. Underneath the art, I have an electric fire which was already in the house when I moved in. It would be sick to have a real one there, but for now I kind of like the vibe of it. Then either side of the art, so on the shelves, I just have some ornaments I thought looked cool. And luckily my girl has a good eye for that type of thing, because if I'm being honest, she pretty much chose all of it. One thing I did do though is pick the vintage lamp behind me, because I really think it adds some warmth to my videos. And of course I've got the 100k YouTube plaque sitting behind me, which could be my proudest achievement man, and that's all thanks to you guys for supporting the channel over the years. So yeah, once again, much love for everything. The last thing on the shelves are just some prints from the old studio. I couldn't get rid of these man, it's Tupac and Biggie, 2 of the greatest to ever do it. So of course I've got Pac on the west side and then Biggie on the east. Alright, so the last few things I want to show you are the instruments I've been using, which you might have seen me use in a couple videos by now. I made a whole video where I tried to learn guitar in 30 days using the Squier Stratocaster. And to be honest, I mainly got this because I like the color. But then I got the Yamaha CX40 because I wanted that acoustic feeling. This one's got nylon strings too, so you get more of a Spanish vibe. I can't lie, I'm not good at all though man. I know how to play a couple chords, and mainly I just use this to play counter melodies by ear. I also have a Yamaha P45 digital piano, and this is the one I was using when I was taking piano lessons, but I didn't take them for that long. I'm not the best on piano, so right now it's just collecting dust. For synths, I only have one at the moment, and a lot of people say this is the best one you can get, and it's the Arturia Polybrute. Arturia actually sent me this after I did some work with them, and a lot of people will hate me for this, but I can't lie, I feel like I'd never use it. The actual sounds are sick, it's a powerful synth, but I'm just lazy man, I can never be bothered to plug it in and record something. When I'm creating something, I just need everything to be accessed easily, because anything that throws me out of that zone just doesn't feel like it's worth it to me. So really I just need to find a better place for it in the studio, and then just keep it connected at all times. I definitely use it a lot more then, but I still think it looks sick in the studio, and I managed to get a crazy video out of it. So yeah, that's about it for the studio tour man. And look, I really don't want people to think that you need all this equipment to pursue a career in music or to even just make beats. I started like most people with a laptop and some headphones. These are just things that I've acquired over the years, and because I've managed to build a YouTube channel, I end up working with a lot of companies who send me products to use in content. So for most people, they're probably not in the same position as me right now. But don't let that be the excuse for not putting in the work, because I know so many producers who still make bangers on just a laptop and headphones. You gotta remember man, this is my business, this is my whole life, and I got to this point by putting in a crazy amount of work and staying consistent on YouTube. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the tour. I hope it gives you a bit more insight to my working life. And like I said, I wouldn't have any of this without you guys, so I appreciate all your support. Much love, and I'll see you next time.